right, I am having so much fun. Robert Chambers here from AnyKeyMusic.com, teaching you how to master the art of playing the piano by ear, and I will be one step closer once you understand all the principles of the Any Key Music system. I gotta tell you, this is gonna be the best day of your life. That's actually the name of the song, okay? But I hope you guys are doing great. Hope you guys can hear me okay. You can hear the piano okay, because this is going to be a very, very important webinar. So let me just definitely check my chat that everybody is okay. Well, I know that if you couldn't hear me, you would have said that, Robert, we can't hear you, okay? So once again, thank you for tuning on. I'm just getting used to, once again, this platform on how to use it. So I'm getting a little better, let's put it that way, okay? But we're gonna cover some great things. As I put in my pre-Facebook Live message, I said that this is gonna be covering some music theories that are out there that may be slowing you down from your play-by-ear development. Now, when I say that, please, those of you that are traditionally taught, I am not attacking you. Please do not take this as an attack. It's not an attack. I'm just going to be presenting the facts, and then we're going to look at them, and then we're going to make, then you can make a judgment from them. However, if you do want to, challenge everything, things that I say whatsoever, please feel free to, type and say this, okay, Robert, that doesn't seem right, or whatever the case is, right? But this is, when I do live, sessions like this, actually, usually I mainly do it with my NEQ Music members, right? They really interact with me. So if you get to know me a little bit more, you're going to know that I ask a lot of questions, and I ask questions because I want to understand, and then I want you to understand. I want to know what you understand and what you know about music. So it's very important that I ask questions, okay? So like I said, we're going to be covering a lot of great things here today, and if you guys don't know already, I'm all about being able to play piano by ear, right? And I say that it's actually easy to do, right? But it has to be like this, okay? Well, not that. It has to be this. Playing by ear is simply the ability to play anything you hear. And the reason why I keep on stressing that, because I see a lot of methods and a lot of things that are being told or said to you that it is playing by ear. And playing by ear is really not that complicated. For those that can play by ear, they simply do what? They simply have the ability to play what they hear. Okay, so I've been doing it since the age of 3, but I'm not the only one. There's thousands, tens of thousands, maybe millions of people around the world that can do it. But if you really ask them, how do they do it? Well, they'll just tell you, well, I heard it and I basically played it. Nobody was there, they weren't there saying, okay, here, you got to play this. You got to play the E, you got to play the I, you got to play, well, if you play I don't know how good that's going to sound if you have to play the I, right? But there's no video tutorials that's telling you what to do, right? Now, here's another disclaimer. When I talk about no copy me video tutorials, because that's really what it is, just copying someone that showed you how to play. That person who's showing you may know how to play, but when they're just showing you, you don't know how to play, so you just copy what they do, okay? That's not necessarily when you understand something, okay? So I'm not attacking that, I'm just stating, I'm just stating the facts. Just remember that. Robert's always gonna be stating the facts, okay? So that's not playing by ear, because if you need someone to tell you always what to play, that's not really playing by ear, okay? So let's just get that out, right? And then there's also some methods where, I call them the copy me softwares, and obviously I can't spell. I have a T there for soft weights. Okay, well, that's all about reading, okay? Good thing we're not reading music today, okay? But copy me software, so they, the screen, the notes light up. So you're gonna see that as we talk, just because I want things to actually be live for you, I'll put a piano on there. Now notice when I play here, there's no, it doesn't light up, okay? And the reason why it doesn't light up, well, not because I don't have the capabilities for that right now, but because I don't necessarily believe that that's the answer for you. Because if I have to light up every key, all you're gonna do is spend your whole time watching every single note light up and then try to find it and then play it back. That's not playing by ear. So that's what I talk about when I talk about copy me softwares, okay? That's not going to be happening. But then we also have this, okay? There's also softwares like this, or not softwares, but there's also sheet music. And as you guys know, sheet music has been around for centuries, okay? For centuries. So who's this guy, Robert Chambers, saying some stuff about the sheet music method? Well, I'm not attacking it, like I said, but I guarantee if we were going to check Bach, Beethoven, all those guys, I guarantee they played by ear, okay? They played by ear. Now, here's the deal. With that method, it's a great method. Millions on top of millions have learned how to play piano and learned how to play songs because of that method. But playing a song is not playing by ear. So many people, they're doing the... they're doing all of that and they think that they're playing by ear. And I said, you know what? That's great that you played that song. Okay, let's see if in church next week they're going to sing that song. Chances are they're not going to sing. And if they do sing it, chances are they're not going to play it in another key. So obviously this is an original key. What if you had to go... So they're not going to be able to do that. Let's say they did sing it. Let's say that somebody just starts singing, you have to find the key. Well, you're going to have to be able to play by ear. So the thing is, those things are great. Let's say when I say those things, I'm talking about these methods, the copy me videos, talking about the copy me softwares. I'm talking about the, learning how to play with sheet music. All of those things are great to learn how to learn a song, but it's not necessarily teaching you how to master the art of playing piano by ear. And the good thing is, playing piano by ear is very simple. How can it be simple? All you got to do is this. You just have to be taught how to understand the language of music. All right, so first things first, you have to acknowledge that music is a language, okay? Music is a language. And after you acknowledge that music is a language, then you have to learn the language, right? And I always say this, that my number one thing that I always say to people when they ask, hey, Robert, can I really play by ear? And I would say, yes, you can, number one. But here's the number one thing. You have to believe that you can play by ear. Once you believe it, I'm not talking about believe like, believe that you can fly. I'm not talking about just make believe stuff, okay? I'm talking about you got to believe that you can do it. And you can. Because if I did this, can you do it? Go ahead. Exactly, you can do it. You heard what I did and you simply duplicated it. That's all playing by ear is, okay? So we got a lot of people on here today, so hopefully I can scroll through these comments and be able to see them, all right? But yes, so you just got to be able to do that. That's playing by ear, okay? And that's what we're going to be covering today. But to be able to understand the language of music, we got to get right to the, we have to get right to the crux of everything. I'm not going to say crux. I'm not even sure that's a word. I don't even know how to spell it. Right? But we have to understand certain things. So what I've identified that there are certain things in regular music, because I never understood why everybody could not play by ear. And the reason why was I'm like, why don't they get it? Right? But I wasn't traditionally taught. So I didn't take regular lessons. I was given a gift, but I was also a gift on how to understand music. And by the time I got, back to I was 18 or 19, and I saw, wait, I kind of get it. I understand how music works. I proved that it worked for myself. Then I started teaching it to others. And I realized wait, later on in life, the reason why they're not getting it is there's certain things that are being taught that really are unnecessarily complex. Because if you believe that something is complex, you're not going to begin it, or you're just not going to go further, all right? So we have to get through all of that, okay? So let's move on. Let's get right to the lesson. So once again, I gave you guys my disclaimers. I am not attacking anybody, right? I'm talking about the theories that are out there. And there are certain theories that have been around for centuries. So nobody here should be offended because those theories were created hundreds and hundreds of years ago. So you're not alive right now. So you shouldn't be offended. Take yourself away from the theory. Okay, you can defend it if you like, but don't take it personal, please. I don't mean to offend you in that way. I'm just talking about the theory that's been around for a long time. So today, I'm not going to be getting, obviously I won't be able to get into all the theories, but I will be getting into theory today. But the first thing we got to say is this: what is a theory? Okay, so don't worry, guys, I'm still here. But I want to ask you, what is a theory? Can somebody tell me what a theory is? Right? Obviously, there's no right or wrong answer, but there are answers that are there. Okay, what is a theory? Okay, and let me see if I can see chat-wise. Okay, can somebody type? Okay, so all you got to do, just in case you guys don't know, there's a little chat box over here. Okay, it looks weird on my screen. Okay, if you guys see me looking down here, is because the screen that has all the chat stuff is like right here, but when I'm talking to you, it's just right here. But I want to ask you, what's a theory? Okay, all right, so if I don't get any answers within 5 seconds, everybody's getting a detention today. Okay. Or I'll just answer it. Okay, so you guys just want to get right to. Okay, well, here's the deal. Okay, so I have no takers right now. So here's the deal, what a theory is. Okay, a theory is simply, according to Merriam Dictionary, all right, the Merriam-Webster's Dictionary, a theory is a plausible or scientifically acceptable general principle or body of principles offered to explain a phenomena. All right, so basically, theories are created so that they can explain something. Okay, when something happens, if it's new, right, for somebody, they try to create theories to explain why did it happen. I remember there was a commercial that says, why do we shiver when we're cold? I don't even know that answer. But anyways, what did Clive say? Clive said, description, a theory is a contemplative and rational type of abstract or generalizing thinking, or the results of such thinking. Depending on the context, the results might, for example, include generalized explanations of how nature works. All right, and Clive said it was a Google search. All right, thank you, Clive. And once again, guys, I don't have my head in the sand. I'm actually just looking at the comments that are right in front of me here. So just look, by the angle that I'm at, it looks like, you know, my head is out there, okay? So basically, thank you, Clive, for doing that. So basically, that's basically what a theory is. A theory is created so that it can explain something, all right? And that's why theories are there, to try and explain phenomena, to try and explain what something happens. However, the truth with theories is simply this. Theories are either true or false. In the science community, they say that theories can be proven to be, whether I think the word is falsifiable. Okay, so you got to prove a theory to see, is it really true or is it really false? And if the theory doesn't work according to certain principles or according to certain tests or whatever, then that theory is going to be considered false. Okay, all right, so I'm going to present a theory to you today. All right, that is around. Hopefully, those of you that are in the chat, hopefully you guys are into music, right? If you're not a musician, you're someone that knows the basics at least of music and so forth, because I'm going to want you to answer these questions so that it's not just me. I'm not really here for entertainment, or I'd love to entertain you, but I really want to teach. And with teaching, I need to get feedback, so I need to know who's on there and everything, okay? So if we talk about this, let me go back to my PowerPoint. Right? Theories are either true or false. Let me ask you this basic question. Everybody that's advanced or even not advanced, how many keys are there in music? How many keys are there in music? Can you guys put it in the chat? How many keys are there in music? All right, all you music scholars, I'd love to hear your answer. Okay, because this is where we're starting today. This is episode 1 of NEQ Music Live, okay? And if I'm gonna teach the language, which I believe everybody has the opportunity to learn and everybody can get great results in playing piano by ear, but you have to acknowledge that music is a language, and languages are only spoken by those who understand the language. So I'm starting from the very bare basics to make sure we can actually do it, all right? So Gerson says, there are 12 keys, okay? All right, I need some other takers, okay? All right, so can I get a couple more answers? Don't be afraid. Yes, I know your comments are right here and they're kind of visible, but that's okay. This is all a part of it, you know? Like I said, nobody's going to be shamed or anything, but we're just going to bring up certain facts, okay? Okay, so are there anybody else? Are there anybody else? I don't know if that is grammatically correct, but it sounded correct in my mind, all right? Okay, anybody else want to take a, okay, so for example, there's a piano right here, okay? So if you're not sure, you can look right here, okay? And let me know how many keys. Now, I think I scrolled and saw some names that look like musicians. So if you don't answer, I'm gonna have to call you out. All right, I won't do that, but I may scroll through the names to see if some musicians are there. So let's see. Look at that. I'm scrolling. Okay. Let me answer. Okay, so let's do this, okay? I see a lot of shy people here. A lot of shy people here. So okay, I started to scroll. So a lot of shy people here. So let me just go on, okay? Because I don't want anybody to be afraid, okay? All right, but if you want to answer, trust me, you want to be a part of this. You want to be a part of what is happening right now, okay? All right, so in terms of how many keys there are, first thing we can look at is this. Let's look at what do the experts say, okay? All right, so hold on, where am I? Okay, no, I wanted my PowerPoint. My question here is, let's see what the experts say and in terms of the theory, okay? So once again, Isaiah says there are 12 keys. Okay, must be 2 minutes behind, okay? Yes, oh, you know what, sorry. I'm so excited and I keep on going so quickly. I have to remember that there is a delay, there is a lag between when I say hello and I think 10 seconds later, hello happens. So I have to remember that. So thank you very much. Okay, so Isaiah says 12, Gerson says 12. Okay, well, like I said, let's see what the experts say. Okay, so I'm gonna, okay, so I'm not gonna show videos because I do have videos of experts talking about what they believe or how many keys there are. So I'll just quote them, okay? So give me a second while I find the quote of what is being said in terms of music or how many keys that there are, okay? So are you guys ready for this? Okay, so let's start with, okay, I see I got a little pause here on my screen, so I just gotta wait a second here. But I see here, does anybody know a musician by the name of Victor Wooten? Okay, people are like, oh my gosh, he's not going there. He's not going there. Victor Wooten is probably one of the best. He's a legend when it comes to musicians. He's a legend. He plays the bass, man. This man is amazing. He's an amazing bass player who plays by ear primarily, right? But he is amazing. Like the stuff that he did, he's such an innovator. He changed the game on bass with different, just using different fingers and all that kind of stuff. What he can do with 4 strings was like stuff that would take someone with 6 strings to do. Victor Wooten is amazing, but he's an expert in music, and he definitely is. However, here's what he said about, I'm not going to play the video, you can find it on YouTube, but he said basically, okay, let me find it. All right, I don't think I have to actually find it full. He said that there are 30 keys in music. Now, when he was asked the question, he was asked this question at his camp that he does for music, okay? And at this camp, right, someone was teaching theory. And in that theory, he was asked, they asked the students there, they said, how many notes are there in music, okay? In his head, in Victor's head, he said, well, this is what he said, literally, almost verbatim. He said, well, in his head, I'm Victor Wooten. I mean, there's only 12 keys, right? And then, just like what Gerson and Isaiah was saying, right? But then he said, there are actually sorry, I got to move this ticker here. Let's do this. No, not that. There we go. Okay, So then he said this. He said, there are, watch this, 30 keys in music. So once again, and I'll put over here that we had a couple people that said 12. He said there are 30 keys in music. In his head, originally, he said 12, but then he was corrected by somebody who was teaching theory that told him or said to him that there are 30 keys, right? 30 keys. Now, if you don't believe me, you can definitely go watch the video, okay? Now, for me, when I look at the piano, and you can see the piano below, I'm like, wow, man, 30 keys. That's great. But let me go to a little bit more of what some other experts are saying, okay? So let's go to what another expert said about how many keys there are. I'm actually going to read it, and I'm going to tell you the person. So if you just in case want to go to their website, it'll give them some more traffic and so forth, but you can see for yourself what they wrote. So once again, I once heard a quote that says, the quote was, what was the quote? The quote was, any publicity is good publicity, whether it's bad or good. So I'm sharing this not to downplay anybody, like I said, but I'm just giving you the facts, okay? So there's a site, because I typed it in. I want to say, who's talking about how many keys there are? Because I heard some very disturbing things in music, okay? So basically, I'll read it for you. It says, so this person's name is David Welsh, all right? And he's a wonderful musician. I believe I haven't heard him play, but he's an authority that people listen to, okay? And he says, I'm going to quote his article. It said, for some reason, this is a question that many musicians and music educators answer incorrectly. He says, a quick Google search yields a wrong answer. It's really quite logical and uses a bit of music theory knowledge. As long as you know the order of flats and the order of sharps, it's very easy to understand. He said, consider that one key has no sharps and nor any flats, okay? And that's the key of C, okay? So let me put it like this. I'm going to put it like how he's saying it, okay? So let's do this. So he says there are, I wonder if I should do it on this side because it's going to be off. Okay, so I guess I can do it on this side. He said that, let's say sharps, right? And then we have, okay, hold on. I have to move the chat. There we go. Actually, you know what? Guys, let's just do this. That would be better. Ah, I see the light. That's so much better. Okay, so let me put it like this, okay? So we're going to put what he said. He said, so I'm going to put a column here, let's say for sharps, right? And let's say key. Then we're going to put flats. I'll just put flat, apostrophe S. I don't have to do that. All right, and then key, okay? Actually, I should leave another column for the any key music. I should leave another column for the any key music one. Wish I could have copy me. Okay, so this will be AKMS. AKMS for any key music's way. Then we have, sorry, not key. We're going to have, this is live, guys, and this is how we teach, all right? We have flat, small b, then we have key, and then we have AKMS. Okay? So that's where we're going. Hopefully you guys can see that, and I think you can. I do have a little chicken scratch, all right? But that's pretty much, yeah, that's okay. Okay, this is AKMS. So he said, let's say when there's no sharps and no flats, okay, so right now, let's say 0, 0, and 0, no sharps, no flats, the key is C, okay? Oops, let's put on this, and let's put on the piano, okay? Piano. Okay, so there's no sharps, so C, and we also see C. So he says, that's what he said. But then he said that there are, and there we go. Let's do it like this, because I'm going to need that. Um, sorry, how can I? Okay, let's put it like this. There we go. We can get that in here. Perfect. Okay, so then he says that there are simply, he said that there's 1 sharp, there's 2 sharps, there's 3 sharps, there's 4 sharps, 5 sharps, 6 sharps, and then 7 sharps. He says there's 0 flats, then he has 1 flat, he has 2 flats, 3 flats, 4 flats, 5 flats, 6 flats, 7 flats. Now, if I am representing the traditional theory incorrectly, those of you that are traditionally taught, please correct me. I don't want to be misrepresenting, all right? Because this is what I understand from what he is saying, okay? So basically, all right, he says that there are 7 flats, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? 7 flats, all right? And the flats are the B flat, the A flat, the D flat, G flat. So, okay, let me put them in there, okay? So he says 7 flats, and he said that they are simply this. They are, let me get my screen here. Let me see if it looks better if I put C, he said B flat. Let me see if that looks good. Can you guys see that? Or if I do it in black, can you see it better? Let me see. Okay, I'll do it in black. Okay, so he says B flat, okay? B flat, right? 1 flat is B flat, 2 flats, E flat, okay? 3 flats, A flat, all right? 4 flats, what is that going to be? Yes, it's going to be D flat for you musicians out there, all right? 5 flats, according to him, right, is we jump to our G flat, okay? Now, then he goes to 6 flats, and he says C flat. And then for 7 flats, he says F flat, right? Like he said, this is all very simple. Sorry, this is not correct. Sorry, these are the flats that are in there. What am I doing? I started misrepresenting you guys already, okay? Okay, so we had the, so we had the 1 flat is not a B flat. What am I thinking? I was just reading it and not even thinking, sorry, right? This would be F, right? And this would be B flat. Okay, then this would be E flat, this would be A flat, this would be D flat, and according to him, this is G flat, and then this is C flat. Sorry, traditionalists. Okay, so he said that's the case. Then he says that brings a total of 8. As you can see, we have. As you can see, sorry, I was looking down there. As you can see, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so far we have 8 keys. And then now over here, he says that there are 7 sharps, okay? And in terms of the one that has 1 sharp, all right, is going to be G, 2 sharps is going to be to D, 3 sharps is going to be A, 4 sharps are going to be what? It's going to be E, 5 sharps is going to be B, and then 6 sharps is going to be F sharp, and then 7 sharps is going to be C sharp. So he says this is quite simple. As he said there are, now you don't count these as 2 different ones, this is 1 key. So it's 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then we have 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, so far, according to this theory, we have 15 keys, but he's not done yet because he said that these are the major keys. Now I'd say he said, he's representing the theory that said, so it's not on the David Welsh guy, it's the theory saying that there are 15 keys here. However, according to his article, which is according to what is taught, each major key is like in what they call an Ionian mode, if you understand modes, but each major key has a relative minor, right? So which is the Aeolian mode, so we need to double the total, which will give us 30. So based on this, he says there are 30 because each of these keys has a relative minor. All right, so for C, The relative minor of C would be A minor, okay? So each of these has a relative minor, okay? So you can read the rest of the article for yourself, but pretty much that's what he is saying. So he justifies exactly what Victor Wooten was also saying, all right? However, the problem I have with this, sorry, I'm actually in your way. You guys can see this, all right? The problem I have with this is simply this. Victor Wooten became a legend in his playing before he started calling it 30 keys, okay? So let me just tell you what I believe, okay? And then we'll go back to that. But that's my thing. He said it was 12 at the beginning. So he did not confuse himself by saying it's 30 now, right? Now, how can we say it's 30? Well, you can look below here, okay? So you see those white keys, okay? And then there are black keys. How many black keys do you see there? Not in total, but if I'm correct, you could correct me if I'm wrong, but you'll see that there's a group of 2, right? Then there's a group of 3, then there's a group of 2 and 3. Well, these 2 and 3 are not, let's say, a new keys. They're just played a little bit higher. So if you sing over here, you could sing up here, but it's the same key. They call it the same pitch, okay? So basically, you could call it the same key, right? So those are not new keys. So therefore, if there's not new keys, then that means in the black keys, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 black keys, okay? So 5 black keys. And as you can see, for those of you that obviously that have experience, now I'm telling you, this is some very advanced stuff. So if you're just joining and you're advanced, we are talking about some very advanced stuff. We're talking about the theory concerning the number of keys. So experts are saying that there are 30. Victor Wooten, an expert that was an expert before he started saying it was 30, he said it was 12, right? So as you can see, there's 5 black ones. And then you see these white keys, right? This one here, I'm not going to tell you what it is, but everybody would know that that is C, all right? Well, actually, yeah, you should be able to see this on your phone, okay? So therefore, if we have this key here, you can hear, you can go, I shouldn't try to do this, right? 5, 6, 7, but then it starts again, just like the regular week. In your regular week, how many days are there? Exactly, there are 7. What happens on this 8th day? It starts again. In the Bible, they call that new beginnings. It's a number 8, okay? And that's what we see in our regular week. Well, that's the same thing how music works. It goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then it starts all over again, and so forth. So 7 keys, 7 white keys plus 5 black keys equals 12. That's exactly what Gerson and Isaiah was saying, right? So that there are 12. Now, this is what I believe in terms of all this theory and so forth. I believe that there are, but before I talk about what I believe, let's talk about their justification, okay? Like I said, I'm building the case. The justification for these 30 keys are simply this, okay? So there is justification. Their justification is that you have to have, the theory actually said, that you have to have the correct spelling, and it's based on the correct spelling and based on the correct key signatures, right? So I showed you the key signatures that they recommended, and they said the correct spelling. So those of you that don't know what they mean by correct spelling, I'll tell you what they mean by correct spelling. Correct spelling means this. Music has an alphabet, okay? And if your musical alphabet is easier than the regular alphabet. The regular alphabet goes from, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, right? It goes into all of that. Well, a little bit more than that, okay? However, the musical alphabet only goes from A to G. So those of you that don't know, if it went from A to G, what would be the letters? I know you'd answer this. It'd be A, it'd be B, it'd be C, it would be D, it would be E, it would be F, and it would be G, all right? A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Those are our letters, okay? I call these the primary keys or the primary names of music. In piano, you can see it clear because all of these are white, okay? They are clearly found because they're all white, okay? Now, when they use the idea of correct spelling, what they're saying is A has to be followed by B. B has to be followed by C, right? If it's not a B something, if it's not a regular B, then it has to be a B, like a derivative of that. So it has to be B flat or a B sharp or something, according to the theory, okay? So that's what they mean. It always has to follow this principle. So that's what they call correct, not that screen. They call correct spelling. What they say about the key signatures is what I told you. And according to that article, they say, you have 0 sharps and flats, which is C, right? This would be like it's in C. There's no sharps or flats. But then other ones, like G, has 1 sharp, which would most likely be the F sharp, and they say that's G. So they say these are all the key signatures, right? 15 plus their major and their minor keys. So that would be what they consider to be 30 keys. Now, the problem I have with that is simply this. That justification in terms of spelling, where did that justification go? There you go, get back here, okay? That justification in terms of spelling should be applied to English. This is not English. This is music. The only thing that we need to take from English is this. We only need to take this from English, okay? That's all we need to take from the principle of English, all right? English is not the language of music. Music is the language of music. And as we go further, as you get more episodes later on down the road, you're going to see that the language of music is numbers. If you see guys that play by ear, they identify what they hear as a number. That's the language of music. But right now we're dealing with the entry level, just with the letters, okay? So let me go back to my PowerPoint here, okay? So like I said, I'm very clear. There are only 12 keys. That is my theory, but I think I've kind of proven that it is actually more of a fact. Now, when I say kind of proven, I tried everything and I'm like, no, it's supposed to be just this, okay? And I'm going to explain it, and I'm going to explain these theories as we go along right now, okay? So let's go to what's next. It's next, because if we hold to those theories, okay, let me show you what can happen, all right? So if you look at these theories, if you can have an E sharp, all right? So those of you that are looking at the piano, that are musicians, you know where the E is. If you have an E sharp, then you can have an E flat double sharp as F. So if you can have an E sharp as F. So let me show you guys this. I'm going to talk at the level of musicians, because musicians and people that are taking music are the ones I primarily are speaking to. So I'm going to speak at that level. But the teacher in me always wants to make sure if there are beginners on, do I have to go? But anyways, I'm going to keep on going. So musicians, we know where E is, all right? You can even touch the screen now. E is this one right here, okay? I'm not going to try to get to it. We know where it is. E. And sharp just means you're going 1 semitone higher. In regular theory, they call that accidentals. I don't believe that there are any accidents in music. So I just call this or label this as a symbol. It's a symbol that gives you an instruction, but that instruction is only supposed to be applied to the keys in piano that you can see that are all black, okay? And I'll explain what I mean, okay? I'm showing you their theory, and I'm going to show you my theory, which we're going to see that it's actually a fact, okay? And I didn't make it up, obviously. I'm just supporting and I'm holding strong to these true values, okay? So as you can see, there's 12 keys, as I said, okay? Now, E, if you go a semitone above E, you're going to get to that white one, all right? You're going to get 1 semitone higher. You're going to get to not this one here. As you can see, there's nothing in between it. So 1 semitone above it is going to get to this key, and that key is F, okay? So remember we said the primary keys are just this. So now I have to train somebody, even though it's an F, I got to now start telling a student, okay, now, but you got to think of it as an E sharp. I'm like, an E sharp, all right? How much music is written in E sharp? Okay, we'll come back to that another time. Not only that, I don't have perfect pitch, but those that have perfect pitch is where you can actually know exactly which note that somebody is actually singing, so they can sing the note. If you say D, they can like sing it. I can't do that, but I can hear numbers, and I can hear numbers in all 12 keys, but I can't do exact notes. So if you have that, that's a gift. Not everybody has that, okay? But if you say to them, okay, sing E sharp, they're not going to sing E sharp. They're going to sing F, because you have to say F, and then they'll sing an F. Okay, or if you play the note, if I play this, which is an F, they'll say that was F. Why? Because that note is clearly F, right? By saying E sharp. But remember, I said the justification that they're using is correct spelling, meaning if you're gonna, well, I'm gonna show you the context in a second. But like I said, if you can have E sharp as F, now that's a bending of a truth, okay? If you go one semitone, here's E, right? If you go one semitone above E, yes, you will get to F, but that is a bending of the truth, right? You can see F is not a black key, okay? Now, sometimes when I've spoken to people and they say, well, it shouldn't necessarily have to be like it's a black key. Well, that's why piano's easy. You can see it all in front of you, okay? So then the next thing that they said, well, then you can have, because if you can have, like I said, if you can have E sharp, then guess what you can have? You can also have E flat double sharp as F, okay? So once again, all you musicians, you know that if you go one semitone below E, it's E flat. And E flat, the distance between E flat and F is 2 semitones. So then that means you can say that E flat double sharp is F, all right? Now, if you can say that, then guess what you can do as well? You can do this. You can now say then F sharp 11 sharp. So F sharp, sharp, let me count it. F sharp, 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 sharp can also be F. Now, you tell me, that gets ridiculous, all right? And if you can say that, then you can go down up to, if I want to get to this key, I can start from here and count all the sharps to get to this. That's the theory. That's what you call in a calculator or a computer a syntax error, okay? Or if you were doing a calculator calculation, that's an error. That's a sign that that theory is kind of false, because you know what? Nobody is writing music like that. Nobody's saying, E flat, 11 sharp, which is an F, right? That is a falsified theory, okay? So it's something that I am definitely challenging. However, here's my solution. So I presented the problem, but the solution to fix this is very easy, okay? This is how you have to fix it. Here's the solution. Number one, accept the fact that there are only major keys, okay? So once again, I'm reteaching how the foundations of the language of music should be done. Trust me, 100 years down the road from now, they'll look back and say, you know what? It was right. Actually, I think it's going to be before that. But anyhow, you have to do this. You have to accept that fact, is that there are only major keys, okay? So I presented the others. Now watch my theory, okay? Which is not my theory. It's just the facts of how music works. There are only major keys. There's no such thing as a minor key. I'll have to do another Any Key Music Live when I talk about and show you why minor keys are non-existent. There's no such thing as a minor key. People say, what, Robert, how can you say that? You're playing minor chords. Yeah, but doesn't mean it's a minor key. And I'll explain in a second, okay? And actually, let me explain it very quickly. Because they're in that video that Victor Wooten did, he said, when somebody said, okay, when they're asking about keys, they said, okay, is Dorian a key? Like D Dorian? He's like, no, D Dorian is not a key. It's a mode. I'm like, that's my exhibit B, right? That's like my exhibit B. A mode is just the same scale starting from a different spot. So therefore, you have to acknowledge certain things. So if I were to read what that expert Dave said, right? He said this, and I'm like, you're leaving something out, okay? It's kind of self-incriminating. Let me read what he said here, and then I'll move on, because I don't want to misquote anybody. I also have some prominent sites that people are learning how to play by ear at, also are holding to this theory that it's like that there's all these multiple keys. Okay, you know what? I'm trying to get the slide for you, but it's not popping up. Just take my word for it. But there's some other prominent experts around that are speaking, that are saying the same thing, that exists, okay? All right, and so forth. So let's fix that today. Okay, and where's my screen? Okay, here we go. Here's my key. So you have to accept the fact, so just stay with me, accept the fact that there are only major there's only major keys, okay? Everything else, right? Because a minor key is simply a mode of that major key. How can I say that? Okay, let me just do a quick example right here, okay? And you can tell me if I'm wrong. The C major scale is easy to find on the piano because they're all white. All of those whites. If I had a baby, my daughter actually just goes like this. She's 2.5, and she goes through the whole piano. Anybody that does that and presses all those white keys, guess what? It's gonna sound like a scale. You sound like a pro. But when you have to do in other keys, that's when it'll be kind of revealing that you really don't know what you're doing. But anyways, the C major scale is these primary notes starting from C, okay? But there's a reason why I don't usually teach it like this. Because I know a lot of you know this stuff already, but I go through a sequence in my Any Key Music course. I go through a sequence in understanding this. It's not this, and it's not memorizing. Okay, Robert says C, D, E, F, G is the major scale for C. No, that's not learning. Learning is not telling you the answer. Learning is teaching you how to understand the answer, okay? So don't take this as learning. This is not learning. You're just looking at me and memorizing what I have here. But anyways, the C major scale goes from C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and C. So they'll say that that's a major key, right? C, right? So you have, no, that doesn't have the alphabet. Alphabet is, no, sorry, I have to do a little commercial break because I know a lot of this talking could kind of be like, oh, so I got to put a little music in there to liven things up. Anyhow, so we have the C major scale. Now, all they have to do, now they said that the major key is a key. However, then they say, well, you have to have the relative minor. Now, the relative minor is these letters, A, B, C, all the way to A. So guess what? All it is, as you can see, the A and B that's here is the same A and B that's here. A, B, C is the same A, B, C here, okay? So a mode is simply taking the same notes and rearranging the order. So there's no such thing as a minor key because it's just the same C major key starting from a different spot. That's why in the video that Victor Wooten said, or that this gentleman said, Dave, he said he named all these other modes. And I'm like, well, those modes are just the other names. So he named, like, let's say, okay, I won't have to do all that. I didn't want to go all there. But anyways, so let's say the D Dorian is just D to D, starting in the key of C, starting from D to D. He said that's not a key, that's a mode. Well, if that's the same here, then that means A minor is not a key either. It's also a mode, and they have a name for that mode. They call it the Aeolian mode. Okay, so that's how I rest my case that basically a minor key is not a key, it's a mode, okay? So there you have it. So that's the number one fact. You got to accept the solution that there is only major keys. There are only major keys, all right? The next thing you have to accept is this. Okay, when I get to it, next thing you have to accept is this, that minor keys are only a mode of the major key. And I think I just gave that demonstration. Okay, let me see. You guys can see my screen? Yes, you can. Okay, then number 3 is simply this. You can recognize that there are only 12 different keys. Now, remember, I said to prove me wrong, but on the piano, you saw them there. There's 7 white keys and 5 black ones. That is 12, okay? All right, so if you want to prove me wrong, please chime in at any time, okay? So that's number 3. Recognize that there are only 12 keys. And then number 4, you have to learn the real understanding of enharmonic equivalence, okay? Enharmonic equivalence is the real reason that we have to look at here. That's the real reason why there's a problem, because there's a root to what this theory is. It's another theory that was created, that was justified, that wasn't vetted, right? So that it's been allowed to be here for centuries, that people just accepted it just because of it's been around for that long. That's not how you determine if something's true or not, that it's been like this forever. No, you gotta prove it Try it through the fire. Okay, right. So, but here, let me just show you a problem I have with this before I show you exactly how we're going to fix this problem, okay? How we're going to fix this theory and prove that it shouldn't be the way that it is, okay? So it's simply this. You see this key right here? Okay, so we have an F, okay? Everybody in musicians, you know where F, right? Say I. B flat, you know where it is. E flat, A flat, D flat, G flat, okay? Right? So we have the F, we have the B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat, we have the G flat, but then we have that next key here. We have this key right here. Can you see it? It says C flat. What is a C flat? We said we have all the primary keys, okay? What is a C flat? Okay? So those of you that musical scholars, please tell me what a C flat is. Like, where would you, what color is C flat? Okay? I know that there's a little bit of lag, a lag, so I'll wait a little bit. Which key is C flat? Okay? I'm trying to find this one right here. Okay? I'll just wait a second. Okay, so there is a little bit, maybe be a little bit of a lag, but you know what? Let me check. Sorry, 1 second. Let me just check this. Okay. All right, so I will answer it, even though there's a lag. I want to keep kind of just move on so I can get to my explanation. Okay, so a C flat would be C, and then they say going one semitone below C. So if you have a C like right here, a semitone below it would be this one. As you can see, it's not a black key. Now, semitone below would be this. Now, it's a bending of a truth. A flat, if you flatten C, it does bring you to this key. But this name of this key, the name of this key is called, the name of this key, I was looking down there because the screen is there too. I should be looking here, all right? The name of this key is called B. However, now according to theory, according to the justification of correct spelling and key signatures, we're supposed to call it a C flat. That's supposed to be correct. Okay, all right, so here's the problem I have. That's a B. So now in our total, remember, the question was, how many keys are there in music? According to the experts, they said that there were 30 keys. All right, so if this C flat is also a B, when you play it, it's the white one there, then we already have B here. So we're counting something twice, right? Because if I were to play the major scale for B or the key of B, it would sound like this. According to the theory, if I were to play the C flat, that supposedly has 7 flats, notice below there are only 5 black keys. See, the thing is, you can't see black and white on a trumpet. You can't see black and white on a saxophone. You can't see black and white on a violin, on a guitar. You can't see black and white. That's why people have gotten away with some of these theories, right? Before it's visible. Music is very visible right in front of you, okay? So the 7 flats here, trust me, it doesn't exist. And I'm going to prove it a little bit more. But anyhow, we're counting this, they counted this key. If I were to play, like I said, I played the B major scale. Now I'm going to play the C flat, which has 7 flats major scale. I'll play both again. The first one, B. Now I'll play C flat. Did anything sound different? No, it didn't sound different because it's not different. It's the key of B. So therefore, that cancels some of the numbers. So remember, it said that this is C flat and it has a relative minor. So that means we're down to 28. So we got to take off 2 of these. So it can't be 30 keys. So it has to be like 28, right? Okay, well, I got another question. Here's another question. G flat. For those of you that are musical scholars, where is G flat on the piano? All right? So I'll work my way back up. G flat on the piano. For those of you that are musical scholars, if I'm wrong, you can please make it public that I'm wrong. But it's this key right here, the first one in that black key. And once again, if you're a total beginner, this is not learning. Learning from me telling you that this is the key is not learning. You have to be taught how to understand how to get the answers, right? Students of mine will tell you, I never tell them this is the name of the note. I teach them how to find it based on understanding principles of how music works, the language of music works. So this key right here is a G flat, okay? So I'll play it. Now, let me talk about this key here, F sharp. Let me play F sharp as well. This one right here, this black key right here. I'll play G flat. I'll play F sharp. I'll play G flat. I'll play F sharp. Do you hear anything any different? Exactly. So they're counting now keys that are duplicates. So that scratches another 2. So now we're down to 26 keys. Okay, so once again, some theory books are probably going to have to be re-edited. Okay, all right, so let's work our way to this. D flat. Let's go D flat. I'm just going to stop with these. I'm only going to do a couple of these inconsistencies. And that's why I say when you deal with a theory, nothing's wrong with a theory. Theories are created to explain something. But theories have to be tested against falsibility to see if it's legitimate elsewhere. Okay, so if you have a D flat, I'll play a D flat, right? Right here, right here. D flat. Now I'm going to play C sharp. I'll play D flat again, and I'll play C sharp. Do you see that? All right, I got to look down there because that's where my other screen is. So excuse me for when I do that. These are also the same key. So guess what? You got to scratch another 2. So now we're down to 24 keys according to this. However, I just proved to you that there are no major or minor keys, right? There are only modes of a key. So therefore, we have 24 keys because it's supposed to be 7 major, right? Sorry, it's supposed to be 12 major and 12 minor. There's no minor keys. So as you can see, it gets right down to a 12 notes, which is what I said and many other people said here today. But some of the experts and some of the traditional theory that's out there has said that there are 30 keys, which is a false theory. Okay, and once again, I'm not attacking people. I'm talking about a theory that's been around for centuries. It's not a person, it's a theory, it's a thinking. All right, and these are some of the things that hold back certain people. Okay, so there should only be 12 because look at this. You see the inconsistencies with this theory. Therefore, there's some falseness about it. But like I said, there are 4 things that you have to look at. But to fix this, the last solution is we have to understand enharmonic equivalence, okay? And that's where we're going to start today. That's where my teaching is going to start and end today. Enharmonic equivalence. And this is, now let me explain how enharmonic is usually taught. Enharmonic equivalence is usually taught where the note that you play can have, they call it different spellings, meaning you can say, so for example, over here, I can say D flat, or I can say C sharp, okay? And that is correct, right? This note is either C sharp, or D flat. That's an enharmonic equivalent, meaning it sounds the same, right? It's enharmonically the same, and it's equal, right? It sounds the same, but it has different names. The problem is they've taken that theory and they've applied it everywhere, right? And that theory wasn't designed to be there because they're teaching enharmonic equivalence incorrectly. And we're going to fix it here today, okay? So basically, there should only be 5 places where you actually associate a sharp or a flat to a particular name. Now, just before I give you that answer in terms of enharmonic equivalence, let me give you a relabeling of all of this, okay? This is some new theory. It's not theory, it's facts that you can actually test, okay? So this is what I'm going to say according to AKMS, okay? In terms of key signatures, because if we're going to use key signatures. If you have 0 sharps and flat, AKMS says this. I wouldn't say AKMS, but any key music facts says that it should be the key of C. Okay? Correct. Okay. If you have one sharp, guess what? Are you guys ready for this? You won't hear this because when you hear one sharp, everybody automatically thinks G. But guess what? One sharp is G and F. Okay? How can I say that? Well, when you play the G major scale, there's one black key, which is F sharp. In the key of F, if you play the F major scale, there is one black key, which they call B flat, but then they use that justification of spelling that it has to be a B flat. Let me show you this very quickly, and let me show you how we're going to fix this, because this is an erroneous theory, okay? So then they say, let's say in the key of F. Remember they said with spelling, F, G has to follow F, A has to follow G, B has to follow, then they have a C, D, E, F. And this is how they'll teach it. Then they say, now you just got to remember that there's one flat. So then they'll say the one flat is B flat. So musicians, you guys know this, okay? So they'll say that that is a B flat, okay? Right? Are you guys with me? All right, but here's the deal. I would ask them, okay, well, if you're in the key of F sharp, what's the third note in the F sharp major scale? All right, and if they would play it, they'd say they'd have F sharp, G sharp, and then they'd have A sharp. And you know what A sharp, another name for A sharp is? B flat. So if I were to do this on a test in the traditional world, and I do this on purpose, they would mark this incorrectly. So if I were to put an A sharp, they would say that is incorrect. That is incorrect spelling. I'm like, what are you talking about? That's English. We're not teaching English. We're teaching music. Music has a different type of teaching. You don't need to apply the F, G, A thing here, okay? So if you have F, G, A, okay, let me play F, G, A, B flat, C, D, E, F, okay? So F, G, A, B flat, C, D, E, F. Now I'm going to play with the A sharp, okay? F, G, A sharp, C, D, E, F. Now I'm not going to speak. I'm just going to play it so you can hear it. So here we go. So we have the first one with a B flat. And I'll have the next one with an A sharp. Did you hear any difference? There is no difference. It just looks different when you put it on a staff that makes it seem like it's something different when it's not different. It's the exact same key, okay? So you can have this. Now they'll say it's incorrect spelling. That's not true. They're doing a theory that obviously you would have to write it the way that they asked for on a test. But in the real world, this is what works, okay? And I'm going to show you why we can do that. So what am I saying? I could have an A sharp here, or I can have a B flat, because guess what? They are both keys, and it's the same key, okay? But the thing is, the reason why they're having a trouble receiving this is because they're not teaching enharmonic equivalence correctly. There are two things that you need to understand with enharmonic equivalence. You need to understand name and function, okay? So once again, enharmonic equivalence, what do you need to understand? You need to understand name and function. They're not teaching you name and function. If you understand that enharmonic equivalence is name and function, then you will see that this theory is like, wait a second. And I'm going to show you how this is going to work in a second, okay? So like I said, so G and F may have one sharp or one flat. Guess what? AKMS says it's also G and F. It's the same thing. So guess what? If I said how many keys have one flat? Guess what? You can say G, right? And they're like, oh my gosh, how can you say that? I said, well, play G flat in the key of G. G flat, G. Now play F sharp. F sharp. It's the same thing. And that's what I'm saying. A lot of people are getting confused in traditional music because we're putting all these rules and all the additional theories that are confusing the regular person. Someone that's born with a gift to play and excel in music, that doesn't matter to them. They can use that theory and hold it, but because it's not going to confuse them. They were born with a natural gift. It's just like any other discipline. There's people that were born with the ability to go further. So if I incorrectly teach it or kind of bend a certain truth, and I'm like born with a certain propensity in that area, I can handle it, okay? So that's what happens, okay? So therefore, G and F, one sharp and one flat is G and F. If I'm wrong, tell me. But don't tell me because you're spelling it incorrectly. No, that doesn't work because you're using it, try to use English to explain this, say knife and knife. So if you spell, the K and the N is silent, so that's why you'd look illiterate if that's the case. First of all, if I'm asking for something, if I wanted you to pass me a knife, I'd say, can you pass me the knife? And then it doesn't matter how I spelt it, because what's most important is not how to spell it, it's can you pass me the knife? Do you have the substance? And that's the thing. Most people are wanting to learn music, not to learn theory. They think that theory is their only way to learn music. And I'm trying to tell you that's not the case. All right? Theories have to be tested. There are many theories that work, but the ones that don't work, I'm coming after you and I'm going to have to reveal it. Okay? So let's get back to, like I said, we have to understand name and function. I'm going to get there in a second to just sum this all up and then we're going to be done. Okay? So here's the deal. So in terms of two sharps, guess what? D has two sharps. You know what also has two sharps? B flat. Okay? Guess what? A has three sharps. That's correct. But you know what also has three sharps? E flat. If you don't believe me, see if you play the piano in the key of E flat if you're going to play three black keys. You'll see. And trust me, the spelling thing's not going to work here. Okay? Unless you can prove that. Okay? So E has four sharps. Guess what? You know what else has four sharps? A flat. B, they say, has five sharps, and that's correct. Okay? However, you know what also has five sharps? D flat, which is also called C sharp. Now, just so that you know, I could say, instead of B flat here, I could say A sharp. A sharp, I just prefer to write B flat. There's no theoretical reason or anything. I just like saying B flat. But I could have said A sharp. To me, it's the exact same thing, exact same key, because when I play A sharp, that's what it sounds like. If I play B flat, that's what it is, all right? It's the same key. So if I were to, so there's no theoretical advantage to saying it's A sharp or B flat. It's the same key. This is just what I'm writing right now because it looks nice because I'm joining all these things together, okay? So these are together, okay? And then we have here, six sharps, and over here, guess what? What AKMS says, or the facts say? None. It's an X. This does not exist. You can see it in the music here, right? There's five of them that are clearly stating what they are, all right? And I'll explain why I can say this in a second, all right? Then C sharp, which is a D flat, right? C sharp and D flat is already the same. We already said that it has five flats, but those flats can also be sharps. So therefore, that's why I put it all over here, right? So C sharp does not have seven sharps. But let me show you what they say that C sharp is in terms of the sharps. All right, so everybody that's teaching this, once again, I'm not attacking you, but I have to reveal when something is not correct. Okay, so if you get students asking you these questions and you have to say, well, the theory says this. Yes, that's the theory says. But when we test the theory and see that there's a lot of falseness in it, we gotta maybe start switching the theory. But I know it's taught in 99% of the world, so it's hard to switch. These books are already done. Everything would have to be changed. Well, that's a new industry. Okay? All right, so anyhow, so let's say for the C sharp, what they would say, they'd say this. They'd say you take C sharp, so let's say I'll just put C, and then you have to put all the letters according to the correct spelling. So you have to be C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and then C again. However, you got to put all the sharps. So you got to put the C sharp on there. You got to put the D sharp. That's your second. Then you have the E sharp. Then you have the F sharp. Then you have the G sharp. Then you have the A sharp. And then you have the B sharp. Okay? So as you can see, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 sharps according to them. But here's my dilemma, is simply this. What is E sharp? And now we talked about it earlier. E sharp, you guys know, it's an F. Someone with perfect pitch, if I played that note, they're not going to say E sharp. They're going to tell you F, because that's what it is. So this shouldn't be there, okay? Then if you have a B sharp, right? Oh, sorry, I forgot to put a sharp here. Now, this is not an eighth sharp. This is just the same thing repeated again. So here, a B sharp. What is a B sharp? A B sharp is simply a semitone above B. So what is that? That is a C, okay? A C, which is that, okay? So there should only be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sharps, not 7. This doesn't exist. Because name a song or a piece of music that is written in E sharp, or name a piece of music that is written in B sharp. And if it does exist, most people would say, okay, what are you doing? What, like, that's just crazy. Who's doing that? Right, because it's ridiculous, okay? I had a slide that said ridiculous, so that's why I'm reiterating that word, okay? All right, so basically, those should not be. The question you should be asking yourself is, why are we saying that this is an E sharp and B sharp, which I've proven it, but there's actually a deeper reason, which I'm not going to get into now, but I do cover in an upcoming book called Revelation, The Origin of Music. But anyways, there's a deeper reason why stuff has to happen at these spots. But I'm not going to get into that, okay? But let me get back to name and function. It's very simple, okay? I just want to bring that to your attention. Name and function, guys, okay? So let's fix this problem once and for all, okay? So like I said, you cross off all of these. What are you left with? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and you have 11. And which key am I forgetting? Of course, I'm forgetting the F sharp. Okay, which is here? The F sharp or the G flat, okay? The F sharp and the G flat, which should be just 5 here. That's what I'm forgetting, okay? So it's not on here. So that's our 12 keys, okay? So let me move this. G flat is supposed to have only 5 sharps, okay? So let me fix it once and for all. So you guys are witnessing history, okay? So we're going to fix this teaching on enharmonic equivalence, okay? So now let's fix, because the justification, like I said, is spelling. That doesn't fly, like I said, right? But now we're going to fix enharmonic. That's why I use a slide, so you guys don't have to read my writing. Enharmonic equivalence. Equivalence. Let's fix this, okay? Because this is the root of the problem. So like I said, it's being taught that there are many names for the same key. But remember what I said in my slide, if you hold on to that theory, which is true in some regards, but if you can say that E sharp, hold on, if you can say that E sharp can be an F, that means you can say that E flat double sharp can be an F. If you can say that E flat double sharp can be an F, then you can say a F sharp 11 sharp can be F as well. And that's why I said it can get really ridiculous, okay? So we just need to understand name and function, okay? So let's fix this name and function once and for all. So we have name. If you're taking notes, you can write it down. Name, and we have function. Okay? Name and function. That's all you need to recognize with understanding how to count keys and label them. Okay? So the name, as I said, remember I said, the names in music, there's only 7 primary names. We said them already. The musical alphabet, just A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. Okay? So where can I put it? Okay, I'll put them over here. Where can I put them? Okay, I'll put them in between here. A, can you guys see that? Yeah. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Those are the primary names. However, we also have the black keys also, right? Plus, right? And I'll just call it by what I think of first. F sharp. No, I could have said G flat. I just decided to say F sharp. A flat. Let's, sorry, yeah, let's call it A. Yeah, we'll call it A flat. Okay. We'll call it, we have our B flat. We have our C sharp. And we have our E flat. Okay. Nice variety there. Okay. Those are all the 12 keys. Okay. These are your names. There are only 12 names in music, period. Okay. 12 names. Okay. So if I were to put them all here, those are the names of the keys. However, they can have a different function. And this is the thing that all they had to do with the traditional theory is just recognize that it's name and function, and you'd be just fine, right? So what do I mean? So the name could have, okay, we'll put it like this. I'm not going to use, I see a lot of people in the chat and all that kind of stuff. I'm not going to use you. I'm going to use myself as an example. Because I'm going to say, okay, let me ask you, what's your name? What's your name? Go ahead. All right, you don't have to type it because I can see it, okay? But I'll use myself as the example. My name is Robert. Okay? That's my name. If you don't believe that that's my name, you can just check my birth certificate, check my page, send me an email or something. You'll see that I respond to Robert. If I was walking and someone said Robert, I would turn my head, okay? That's like the white keys. That's the name, okay? However, my name is not only complete, right? How can you tell me the difference? How can you tell the difference between me as a Robert and somebody else as a Robert? Well, you can tell by my last name. My full name is Robert Chambers, okay? Shan, I can't even spell my name. This is a B, Chambers, okay? That's my name, all right? Don't worry about what I have written. Play it by ear. Okay, I'm having fun today. Chambers, okay. All right, so Robert Chambers is my name. When you see F sharp and B flat, that's like a first and last name. However, if you just say Chambers, there may be a lot of other people that are also, sorry, there may be a lot of other people that are called Chambers as well. So if you say Robert Chambers, then I can respond. All right, so I'm not saying, okay, so let me move forward. But my name is Robert Chambers, okay? Let's say this. So the principle of enharmonic equivalence is this. Names never change, but functions do. I'll say it again. Names never change, but functions do. So my name is Robert Chambers. Okay. 42 years ago, my parents gave birth to a wonderful, 42 years ago, my parents gave birth to a wonderful baby boy. After searching so long, a baby boy came, and they named him Robert Chambers, okay? So I have parents. So where can I put this? So I'll just put P right here. I have parents, okay? So the parents, guess what? To them, I'm their son, okay? I'm their son. So I'll just put a P in here, all right? For parents, to them, I'm their son. But what's my name? My name is Robert Chambers. Okay, so I'm the fifth of seven brothers and sisters. Five. I'm the fifth of seven brothers and sisters. Okay, so therefore I came on the scene a little bit after. I came number 5. Okay, so I have brothers and sisters or siblings. Okay, I'm not their son. I'm their brother. Okay? However, when they call me, they don't just say brother, because to them, I'm the brother. That's my function. However, what's my name as their brother? They say Robert Chambers, right? They say Robert. Do you get it? Okay, good. So that's to them, I'm their brother. I hope you're following what I'm saying. I'm telling you, this is how music works. Okay? I'm not going to act like their son. Like, I'm not going to expect them to feed me and clothe me and all this stuff. Like, when I was a baby, that was my parents' job, okay? So the function to them, I was supposed to play with them, and I'm supposed to bother my sisters and all that kind of stuff, right? That was my job. That was my function, okay? So now, later on in life, I met a wonderful, beautiful woman that I'm blessed with, that God really gave me. She's such a gift, and, we're going on 10 years of marriage, named Tanika Chambers. So we got married 10 years ago, almost 10 years ago. All right, September will be 10 years, so it's going to be really good. That's really exciting. I don't know where the time went. When you're having a good time just goes by quickly. Just like now, time is flying by. I didn't realize I'm going by for so long. Okay, so basically we got married. So I have a wife, okay, right? However, I have a function to her. I'm her husband and best friend. All right, so I'm her husband, but to her, she says, what's my name? She calls me Robert or Robert Chambers. But I don't act like her brother. I don't act like her son. I'm her husband. right? So I have a particular function. Now, later on in life, like 7 years into our marriage, we had a wonderful, beautiful little girl. Taya, if you're watching, you should be sleeping right now, okay? But her name is Taya, beautiful little girl, right? Named Taya, okay? You know what who I am to her? I am her father, or she calls me daddy. Guess what? Okay, well, we'll go to the name. She doesn't call me Robert. She's supposed to call me daddy. Actually, she has called me Robert. She says, yeah, Bert. So if I'm like downstairs working on music or something, she'll be like, yeah, Bert. I'm like, don't call me yeah, Bert. I'm your daddy. I'm your father. But she hears mommy call me that. So that's why she said it. So sometimes she slips in the name. Okay, what's the moral of this? Okay, what my wife says, yes, you are. Right? What's the moral of all of this? Is names never change, but functions do. Now, how do we relate that back to music? Is simply this. If I took C, C is the most used or the easiest key to see music in, okay? If I took C, what's the name of that key? The name of the key is C, all right? What's the function of that key? Well, that depends on the situation. For example, my function changed. According to my parents, I had a different function. According to my brothers and sisters, I had a different function. According to my wife, I have a different function. According to my daughter, I'm a different function. She likes to jump on me and play on me and do all these kind of stuff. That's my function. If I have C, that's the name. The function changes according to the situation. So what can I say? Well, if we're in the key of C, Robert, what is C in the key of C? Let's put it like this, okay? This is why I teach in any key. Well, in the key of C, I could be wrong, but C is the 1, right? In the key of C, first note of the scale is C. Okay, well, if I was in the key of F, okay, if I was in the key of F, C would be what number in the F major scale? Are there any musical scholars out there can answer this for me? Actually, you know what? I'll answer it because I think there's a lag with the time and I just want to kind of get to the point, which I am at the point, right? If you do the F major scale, it would be F, G, A, B flat, or F, G, A sharp. And I said that on purpose for those that are traditionally having a hard time with what I'm saying here. I mean well, okay? But the 5th note of the F major scale is C, okay? So therefore, it would be, as you can see, if it was in the key of F, C would be the number 5. So therefore, the function of it is different, okay? The function of the C in the key of C is as a 1. In traditional world, they'll call it the tonic, okay? But as a C in the function of an F, just like I have different functions in my regular life, that means C would function like a 5, right? How can I take it a step further? Well, I can take it a step further like this. Let's say if I was in the key of F sharp, I'll do that on purpose. So if I was in the key of F sharp, what is C in the key of F sharp? You don't change it to say, oh, the correct spelling is, or they'll say it's like supposed to be a B sharp to be correct. No, you don't change that because the names never change. The functions change. So if I was in the key of F sharp and we did the F sharp major scale, we have F sharp, we have G sharp, we have A sharp or B flat, right? I could have called those other ones flat too. And then we have B, and then they're saying that the next one is supposed to be C sharp. However, what is C in the key of F sharp? Well, there's 2 things that it can be. Because it's a semitone above B, and B is the 4th note in the key of F sharp, so therefore, it can function as the sharp 4, or it can function as the flat 5. Now, both are exactly the same, all right? So I'll cover some other theories about, diminished intervals and all that kind of stuff another time, right? But right now, I'm only focusing on that, okay? So we have the sharp 4 and we have the sharp 5. So basically, the function of this is a sharp 4, flat 5. However, the name should always remain C, all right? So I know that traditional theory is saying that if you're in the key of F sharp, you got to say sharp because it's showing like it's going up, and you got to say flat shows like it's going down. No, those are just things you put in to try and make the reading easier. but it can all be solved by just acknowledging those four things, that acknowledging that there's only one major key, acknowledging that there's no minor keys, and acknowledging that enharmonic equivalence should be taught as a name and a function. If I were to go to C, C is C, okay? It will always be C. However, in the context of A, it's going to be a different key. In the context of A, it's going to be the flat 6. In the context of B, it's going to be the flat 2. In the context of C, it's the 2. In the context of, in C, it's the 1. In the context of D, it's the flat 7. But it's still C, but the function is different. So you use it differently in your playing based on where you have it, okay? So that is my spiel, and that is what I truly believe. In terms of enharmonic equivalence, you just have to understand name and function, okay? So hopefully you guys learned something today. If there's anybody that wants to challenge this idea of what I presented, you can definitely do that. Or if you have a question on it, you can definitely do that. If not, I am going to be closing this webinar, this teaching live that we're doing here. But does this make sense, okay? Does it make sense? Let me know, and I'll wait because I know that there's a little bit of a lag, okay? So let me know, okay? Hopefully it's becoming a lot clearer, right? In terms of enharmonic equivalence, there are only 12 keys, guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and then it starts again, okay? So there are only 12 keys. There's no such thing as a minor key, as we covered. A minor key basically is just a mode of the key. Now, I have to do I'll do another breakdown of that particular one, but right now, today was just covering the basics, right? Because if you want to understand or play piano by ear, you have to do what? You have to be taught how to understand the language of music. That's what it's all about, understand the language of music. And to understand the language, we got to start from the beginning, because I'm going to be teaching you a lot of beautiful things, but you have to understand the language, okay? So, is there anybody that has any questions, or if anybody saw anything that I taught falsely or incorrectly? Now, if I already covered it, then I guess I can speak to it quickly again, but just let me know if you have any questions on anything. Now, this replay will be up so that you can actually get it. And this is a type of teaching that I do in the NEQ music system, all right? And once you see below, you can like, you can share, you can comment, you can subscribe at neqmusic.com, where I teach people how to master the art of playing piano by ear. Piano is an art. When you know how to play it by ear, it's an art, right? And when you know how to play by ear, the way that I'm teaching, it's not just fluke, it's understanding what you're hearing. Then when you read the music, it'll make sense, right? So it just won't be music that you're memorizing, because memory is not understanding. If I were to ask you what's 2 plus 2, you're not going to try to memorize that it's 4. You'll understand that 1, 2, and 2, 1, 2, 3, 4 makes 4. That's understanding, and that's what we teach in the NEQ music system. I teach live every other week, but they also have lots of hours and hours of training to actually break this down and understand music from the grassroots. I have a lot of people that actually been in the course and been like, well, I have a music degree, but you look at it differently. And I just challenge the facts or challenge the theories that are out there and just say, okay, well, why are you looking at it so complex? Because it's not. Music, you've got to be able to, one, understand the language and play in any key. If you play in any key, it makes all of this easy, okay? So I assume that there are no questions. So that's going to be it. Thank you for everybody that tuned in to NEQ Music Live, okay? So you're going to be seeing more of me because I got a lot to share and I got to catch up on a lot of teaching. All right, so if you do even have some questions, feel free to send me some questions that you have, and then I can actually cover it in a future NEQ Music Live, all right? So I'll be able to do that, okay? So hope you guys had a great day. Soon as I press end, I believe it's going to allow you to watch the replay. So you can watch the replay if you didn't want to say anything because something now, you can obviously say something a little bit later, comment, share, get the perspective from others, right? There's some experts out there that teach this theory, have them explain it and debunk everything that what I'm saying here. And I'm not saying that in an ignorant way. I'm saying it because I would want to learn as well. But I'm pretty sure what I shared with you can help you if you look at it. Now, if you ask, okay, Robert, so what are you going to do with all of this stuff, right? So Robert, now that you're saying all of this, so then what's going to happen to all of this in terms of the music? Okay, what's going to happen to this? All right, so when you go to the C, let's say if you're here, that's a B, and you say B sharp. Okay, go to the B sharp. What should happen if I have my way? Erase it. Don't teach it. Period. Okay, so how do you fix it? Well, you got to come with a new system. I have another system that I'm developing that right now that's going to really kind of answer that. It's very simple. But the number one is just to get it out of here. It shouldn't be there, right? But this, so that B sharp can also look like this, right? If you have a C sharp, okay? It can look like, oh yeah, that's great because you can see it here. But that's not how music works in the real world. Or when I say real world, I'm talking about how it looks down here, okay? So that's how it's going to go. All right, so I'm going to show you as we go along what I think the replacement should be. But the first part is learn how to play by ear, okay? So that's going to be it. Thank you all for tuning in. What I always like to say, I always look forward to helping people reach their musical goals, and I know I will be one step closer once you understand all the principles of the Any Key music system. Have a great day, have a great night, and I will see you on the next or on another Any Key Music Live. God bless. Bye-bye.